that's right. Just going to ignore it now.
It's so different.
Alrighty, so let's get started in seated. So you can come into either kneeling or cross-legged. I just want you guys to close your eyes down and just feel for the space where your spine can settle like naturally. So what I mean by that is you'll feel like somewhere between leaning forward and leaning back, there's a place that there's no effort to stay upright. So that might mean leaning too far forward and then leaning too far back, just to find that place where you're actually not trying to sit up at all. In today's practice, we're working with something called the Jnana Maya Kosha, which is one of the 5 koshas that we talk about in yoga. This particular one is where we access our own inner teacher. And the idea is that we move into the Jnana Maya Kosha, we move into this state of mind that is above the stories we tell ourselves. And the only way to really get there is to see the stories we tell ourselves and then make a choice to go to this place which is above those stories, like a Before we move, just pause for a moment, take a breath. And see if you can become aware of something you may have brought to your mat today in the form of a story. So whether that is a story about the way you're feeling physically, maybe it's a story about what you've got to do today or what's going to happen. As you move through the practice for the next hour, you'll notice how that story changes shape. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth, full breath out. And then open your eyes and let's come straight up to standing. So, feet will be about hip width apart. I want you to feel again for that sense of the back of the head over the sacrum. Then as you inhale, take your arms straight up. As you exhale, fold forward completely. Take a halfway lift inhale, long spine. And then fold forward as you exhale and stay down for one breath. Fill the back of your body up. Exhale to empty. And then bring the arms all the way up as you inhale. Fingers spread wide. Go forward again as you exhale, all the way down. Hands to shins, halfway lift, inhale. Fold forward completely as you exhale. Take a full feeling breath in. Exhale to empty completely. And all the way up on an inhale. Go forward again as you exhale. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Fold forward completely as you exhale. Again, full feeling breath in. Exhale, empty out, let the back of the neck go. Come all the way up on an inhale. Go down again on the exhale. Take a halfway lift, inhale, flat back. Fold forward as you exhale. Let the back of the neck go and feel for a little bend through the knees there. Come all the way up on an inhale. Hands to heart, exhale. Chair pose, the feet are about hip width apart. And take the arms up on an inhale. And then sink the hips down on an exhale and continue to move forward. So we're still in the chair pose, but we're extending the spine forward. Come back up to chair again on the inhale. And keeping in chair, we go forward again on the exhale. So inhale, the breath moves into the chest as we come up to chair. And then exhale, the navel draws back to the spine as we fold forward. We'll do two more. So inhale, the chest lift. Exhale, navel to spine as you fold forward. Final round. Inhale, the chest fills. Exhale to fold forward. And then the next breath in, we come to chair and we hold. So I want you guys to find a place in chair that is manageable. So you don't need to do the personal best chair, but enough to feel that the legs are starting to work. And then the gaze is either forward or eyes closed. We're working with the breath into the chest. Navel to spine as you breathe out. And continue to feel that sense like the building discomfort physically. What that does is it starts to burn off any of the stuff that gets in the way of us reaching that place of our higher self. So Vijnana Maya Kosha. We're almost intentionally agitating the mind. Next breath in, inhale, straighten the legs. Lower the arms down as you exhale. Just pause for a moment there in that space. Feel what's changing for you internally. We use yoga to purify, like we burn off any of the stuff that gets in the way of us connecting. Whether that's connecting to spirit or our higher self or whatever you want to call it. Alrighty. Take your left foot forward and your right foot back, like you're setting up for a warrior two position. You guys might want to have your blocks nearby. I definitely do in the morning. And the block is inside or outside the left foot. It doesn't really matter. Arms come out to the side. We take an inhale. And then go down into extended side angle as you exhale. So the left hand is on the block or the floor. The right arm comes overhead. So we're interested in maximum length through both sides of the spine, like the rib cages. So set yourself physically, get into the shape as best as you can. Remember that front knee does want to bend as much as possible. And then as you breathe in, roll the left rib cage up. That's it. Start to open up the chest more. And then the sense of breathing in really steady. So you want to feel like your inhale and your exhale are the same. You can count that if it helps to anchor the mind. We're just here observing, so we're in stillness, we're able to feel what's happening physically. We're able to observe our mental response. Come all the way up, and then next inhale. And just simply change sides as you exhale. So the right foot will turn forward. We take the hands out on an inhale and then go down into extended side on the exhale. Left arm reaches overhead. Again, we're feeling for length through both sides. There's a sense of the right sit bone reaching towards the left heel. So we want to tuck it back and under. And then the chest opens up skyward. And the only thing to do in this pause is stay with the breath. We establish ourselves in the higher part of our mind so we don't buy into the story. And next breath in, come all the way up. Parallel your feet, so the big toes turn in and the heels point out, and put the hands on the hips. We take an inhale to lift up through the chest, and then go straight forward into forward fold as you exhale. So I don't mind if you guys want to have your hands on blocks here. If they reach the floor with ease, that's fine too. We'll take an inhale again and get really long through the spine. Keep the chin tucked. And then fold forward on an exhale. Keep the chin tucked under here because we've moved a heap of prana in that previous pause. We want to make sure that the prana doesn't go straight up into the brain and disturb the mind. So chin tucked will prevent that happening. The forward fold is a really great way of grounding the bigger energies that we shift in the practice in to feeling. So starting from the feet up, become really aware, like feel where your feet are on the mat. Feel your inner leg lines, be really mindful of your inner ankles lifting. Your sit bones reach skyward, and that allows then for the tilt of the pelvis so the spine can lengthen down. Steady your breath so it's even in and even out. Yeah, and then the next breath in, you can either walk the hands up the legs or come all the way up with the hands on the hips. Or use the breath in to come up. And then step to the top of the mat and the breath out. Step the right foot back for warrior one pose. So get your left foot forward and take the arms up on an inhale. So again, we go through the dynamic movement first. So as you breathe in, you're in warrior one. And then as you breathe out, straighten the front leg and lower the arms down. So we go again up into warrior one. That's an inhale. And the arms lower and the front leg straightens on an exhale. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale to lower and straighten. Two more. Again, go up on an inhale. Lower down on an exhale. Last one. Maybe this time we go a little deeper. The body's open. Lower the arms, straighten the leg on an exhale. And then come into warrior one and hold. But we're going to take the arms out like so. So the palms are upward facing. There's a little bend in the elbows there. And again, once we've done that little bit of dynamic movement, we come into a place where we hold so we can see what's happening in the mind. So either gaze your eyes like straight ahead, or if you can, close them down. And then in that place where you're feeling the physical sensation of the pose, be very aware of what your mind is doing. Like just notice the stories, like we've all got different ones. Mine's usually, I can't stay. I'm a bit of a runner. But just notice what yours are and choose to take contrary action to whatever that story is. Notice when you take contrary action, the story dissolves. And this practice is about allowing everything to come. Choosing not to participate. And next, inhale, straighten the legs. Lower the arms down. As you exhale, bring the back foot in a little bit. We're setting up for pyramid. You can have blocks nearby if you choose that. Hands on the hips as you inhale, lift the chest. And then as you exhale, we go straight forward over the front leg. Now, there's two things you can do here. You can have your hands on a block there if that helps just to feel less intense for you. The other option is to clasp your hands at your lower back. So your left hand will clasp your right wrist. Obviously, that's a little bit more intense as an option. But again, we're just going to stay here for some time. So the time that we get to stay gives us more of an insight into what's going on physically, but also mentally. Front leg straight. Slight bend in the knee. Just try not to lock any joints. So there's always a slight softness. That's it. And just being aware that when we're working in this way, where we're really looking for our own behaviors, our own strategies, the way that we tell ourselves certain things, we're never looking from a place of judgment. It's merely observation so that we learn a little bit more about how we move through the world. Once we've got those awarenesses, then we can choose which ones are helpful and which ones aren't. Bring your breath again through the back of the body. So make sure that there is an area left untouched by your breath. Be really, really thorough. Take a feeling breath. Anchor through both feet as you breathe out. And then come on up as you inhale, however that looks. Whether you walk your hands up your legs or you come up with one breath in. And then step to the top of the mat as you exhale. Just pause there. Left foot comes back, right foot is forward. I brought the dog for an extra distraction so we can really practice being in Vijnana Maya Kosha today. I'm doing warrior one, not really, but it's kind of working. Okay, so inhale, and then as you exhale, you straighten the front leg, lower the arms down. So we go again dynamically. We're just bringing that we're introducing the pause by doing this dynamic way. Leg straightens, arm down. Up again on the inhale. Just saying to the body, this is where we're going. Get ready. 2 more. Inhale. Lower on the exhale. Last one. Inhale. Lower on the exhale. And then we come into the hold. So we inhale into warrior one, and then the arms come out with the palms upward facing. We've got a little bend in the elbows. And what that does is just helps to open up the chest more. You can feel that the shoulder blades press into the back of the heart, which in turn helps the collarbones lift, which means there's more space to get the inhale in. What we're aiming for is to fill up the whole of the chest area when we breathe in. And then when we breathe out, we draw the navel back towards the spine. And what that does, it creates the element of fire internally. It's like this little spark. The breath moves into the chest and it strikes back as the navel draws in on the exhale. And that internal fire then purifies any of the old strategies, the old things that we tell ourselves. It's like we put that into the fire. Resides at the navel center. And then we slowly straighten the front leg, lower the arms, reset the feet if you need, hands on the hips. Inhale, lift the chest, hinge straight forward on an exhale. So again, you can have hands on blocks or clasp. This time it would be left hand on the right wrist. Being aware that these forward folds are very useful for bringing in the quality of a partner value. So it helps us know what needs to leave, what's not helpful anymore, and what is useful, what we need to keep. We don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We just want to see the certain things that we're using that aren't exactly helpful anymore. Again, the breath is even, steady in, steady out. And then the next inhale, come all the way up. Arms reach skyward. And then step to the top of the mat as you lower the arms down on an exhale. Just pause there. Let's see if you can notice what's changing. Particularly with attention to the mind. And then inhale the arms skyward. Fingers spread wide. Bow forward on an exhale. Take a halfway lift, inhale, flat back. Step to plank and hold plank. So the ankles are touching. Shoulders and wrists are stacked. Remember, you can always do this with the knees down. But the idea is we want to feel this heat building at the navel center. So you draw the navel in. There's even a little bit of rounding through the upper back, not much. And then we squeeze everything together, just enough to feel there's a strike at the navel. The jaw is relaxed, the eyes are soft. And then there'll be a point where there's an alchemical shift where we go, I can't take any more. And then you choose what to do with that. Okay, come forward a little bit on the inhale so you can come right onto your tippy toes and then lower down slowly, slowly, slowly on the exhale. Slow, slow. All the way down to your belly. Once you're down on your belly, take a moment. So your forehead can rest on the floor, favorite cheek to the floor. And then we'll do a few rounds of cobra and come into a hold. So the hands are just underneath the shoulders. With your back, if it's better to take your feet wider, that's okay. If you can keep the legs together, ideally. I'm just going to inhale, come up into a little baby cobra. Keep the chin tucked and neck long, and then exhale, lower. And then again, come up, inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. This time we come up into a cobra, that's an inhale and we hold. So you want to feel here like the hands are really, really light, almost that they're not touching the floor. Remember the chin is tucked, so it's not about how high we lift, but that the back of the neck and the spine are as long as possible. You'll feel the pressure of the abdomen on the floor. That's intentional. And then lastly, really actively reaching through the legs. So if your feet are on the floor still, but you're feeling the inner thighs, the inner ankles, reaching back long. Come to me. You know, like that. Okay. 5 more breaths. It's okay. It's a really. You can feel for more length through the spine, chin tucked under more. Like really draw length. Don't worry about lift. That's it. And then release. Come all the way down. Favorite cheek to the floor. Rest for a moment. Like belly down, back bends like these They help to put just a little bit of pressure on the abdomen that stirs up any stagnation of old ideas in that place. These are the lower chakras where it prevents us from growing. We get stuck. Okay. The next belly down back bend will be Shalabhasana. Ideally with the hands clasped, but if that doesn't work in your shoulders, you can have the hands like this, but hands clasped if you can. And then we inhale with the chest and the legs. Okay. So we're not worried again. We're not worried about how high we lift. That's so irrelevant. We're really, really focused on the length of the spine. So if you can squeeze in the inner thighs together is ideal, just because the energy is contained there. But if it hurts the back, take them a little wider, that's fine. Keep reaching the crown of the head forward and keep opening up through the chest. And again, the breath is steady, so we want to keep anchored in a really slow, calculated breath in. Calm, easy breath out. We've also got an outer teacher as well as an inner teacher, a fairy one. And again, keep coming back to where you go when things get intense. Just be really interested in that. What happens? Like, what do you externalize? Do you internalize? Like, what's your strategy? One more breath. Feel for length. Reach back through the legs. Keep super active. And then exhale, lower everything down. Just put your favorite cheek on the floor. Take a minute. Okay. And then the daddy of all back bends, well, the daddy of all belly down back bends. I'm just going to pop my mic there so I don't squash it and you can't hear. We're going to come into bow. So watch first. I just want to talk you guys through a couple of things here. It's not about how high we're lifting because we're interested in the pressure on the abdomen. So that's more of a point of focus than it is any depth in the pose. You'll hold your outer ankles and you're just lifting up as much as you can, okay? What I want you to feel for is the chest is moving forward and that obviously the feet are kicking back into the hands. That just helps to open up the chest more. But mostly we're interested in how much we're feeling in the abdomen. All right, then. Come down onto your tummy. Bend the knees, reach with one hand, grab one ankle, reach with the other, grab the other. Outer ankle, ideally the ankles. If you can't get the feet, that's fine. And then take an inhale and press up. The gaze is forward, or eyes are closed, you choose. Spread out through the toes, get the feet really active. And keep actively pressing the feet back and the chest forward. So the feet and the chest are as far apart as you can make them. Breath is steady. I've got about 6 more breaths here. So you can squeeze and lift up a little bit on the exhale. One more breath, lift, squeeze, reach, press, and then relax. Just let that settle for a moment. Set yourself up for plank. Bring the legs together, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, pull the navel in towards the spine. Take an inhale and push up to plank. Pause there, keep drawing the navel back towards the spine. Feel the sense of pushing the floor away. Engage through the thighs, lower belly draws in. Take an inhale. Press to down dog on the exhale. You need the knees bent, that's fine. Focus on getting the spine super long. Take an inhale. Draw the navel back as you exhale. Let's squeeze all the breath out. And then step the left knee forward. So we're setting up for pigeon. The right toes tuck under, so you reach the right leg back. We come up on an inhale, lift the chest, collarbones spread, and then start to walk forward on an exhale. So if for you guys, it feels better to stay upright, you can do that, that's fine. If it's easy this morning to come down onto your forearms, or you want to come all the way, you may. You just do what works for you. We'll be here for about 3 minutes. We're starting to bring in now this more of a yin-like approach. We've done some dynamic work, stirred the energies, but now we want to integrate. So we're not going into our day just completely like, what the hell just happened? One of the most effective ways to start to change our state is to change the breath. So we're focusing now on an extension of the exhale. Even if it's just 1 or 2 counts longer than your inhale. Take a feeling breath through the side ribs. Exhale, release. Make your way to downward facing dog. Change sides, step the right foot forward, come into pigeon. Take your time again. Like, you might find that actually staying upright is a better option on this side. Like, you don't have to do what you did on the other side. We're just looking for them areas that are physically tight, which is where we keep these old ways of being. If you want to come forward, come onto your forearms, no problem. Again, we're bringing our awareness from the external in. So burn off all the distractions, hopefully. Now it's a little bit easier to rest in the sensation. Just feeling it for what it is. And then release again. Press to down dog and maybe just a little pedal of the heel. So do it really mindfully. Like, you might bend one knee and hold as you press the opposite heel down. Like you're pumping blood back through the pelvis. And come to seated. Bring the left leg in front of the right. Take the left hand behind, inhale the right arm up. And then exhale, twist. You've got your right hand outside of the left leg. We're not going to stay here too long, just enough to feel a little bit of twist through the spine. So as you breathe in, reach the crown of the head skyward. And then as you breathe out, just feel from the navel the twisting of the whole of the spine, but the head stays still. Again, inhale to reach up and lengthen. We twist again a little deeper on the exhale. And we're going to come back to center on the breath in. Change the cross of the legs on the breath out. And then inhale the left arm up as you exhale. Twist it. Left hand outside the right thigh. Sitting tall again as you breathe in. And let the twist happen from the navel as you breathe out. Again, inhale, chest lifts, collarbones spread. Navel draws back as you exhale and twist. Come back through the center on the inhale. Take your legs forward for Paschimottanasana as you exhale. So remember, you can have your knees slightly bent here, and if you've got two blocks, you might put a block at the back of each knee. Up to you. We'll do a few dynamic rounds, and then we'll come to hold again. So arms come up, that's an inhale. Keep the spine long as we fold forward on an exhale. So wherever your hands land, take an inhale halfway. And then fold forward on the exhale. Come on up on an inhale. Go forward as you exhale. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Fold forward as you exhale. Come up, inhale. Go forward, exhale. Take a halfway inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Keep the chin tucked. Come on up on an inhale. Extend forward on the exhale. Take a halfway inhale. And this time fold. Try to keep the spine active. So even though it's more of a yin type of pose, we're not rounding the spine. So the chin stays tucked, the neck is long, and you're pressing the chest forward, which means that if you round the spine, you're going to go a lot further forward. It'll feel like you're not going as far. And close your eyes down once you're in that shape. Once you've got the spine long. And with your eyes closed, sense this channel of energy running from the tailbone to the base of the skull. The spine is where the prana lives. That's the container of all of our energy. So as your breath moves in, see it enter through the crown of the head and move all the way down to the tailbone. And as you breathe out, see the breath move from the tailbone up through the spine and out through the crown of the head. So breathing in through the crown, it goes all the way down to the tailbone. As you exhale from the tailbone up to the crown. Keep breathing in that way, so you're using your breath like you're wanting to touch every area of the spine. Remember, the breath is the vessel that carries the prana. Take a breath in. Let yourself fold forward completely as you breathe out. Come all the way up as you breathe in. Let the hands rest down like you're in Dandasana as you breathe out. So whether the hands reach the floor or not, you can be on your fingertips. Feel the sit bones reach down and the crown of the head reach up. Just grounding in the energy, forced pause. And then from there, set up for Shavasana, final rest. So if you want to come straight down onto your back, you can. If you want to take legs up the wall, you may. But remember, like any pause, this is the whole point of the practice, to get to Shavasana. And Shavasana is the place where we're free of all the physical tension, like we've kind of moved all that noisiness away. So then in this place, we can integrate the changes. And then we move through our day with less noise, less story. Invite your breath back. Feel for washing your breath through the whole of your body. Like, just notice what's changed, what's different. With that new awareness now internally, make the transition to one side. Went up to seated. You can either kneel or keep your legs crossed. Palms can rest either in your lap or hands to rest easy at the heart. So we now bridge the gap between the mat and our life, and this practice that comes with us. And we're moving through our day to day. We bring in this element of Vijnana Maya Kosha. It shows us which is the higher aspect of ourselves. We're watching for these old ways of being as we move through the day. And using Vijnana Maya Kosha to make a better choice. Take a deep breath in. Exhale to empty out. Bow in gratitude as always. We say namaste, gracias, amen, aho, all the things.
Thanks, Lisa.